So just arrived on site for a morning kind of breakfast, get out of the house, get away from society and just chill out in the urban countryside. Highway in the background, apologies for that. So the plan is, okay, so here's my bag, started unloading a few things. I know it sounds lame, but I had to bring wood into the park. It's actually quite dry at the moment. There's quite a lot of elder sambucus, which I could probably cut up. I mean, that piece of there has probably been rotting for a few years, but there is actually quite a lot of stuff I can get today. The issue is I don't want to come into these places that are wild camping and have all these little areas with these broken branches, the freshly broken branches and sawn off pieces that show that someone is coming in here and cutting firewood. I don't want to give that impression. I haven't posted a video yet on my my new woodland, the ancient woodland. It's an awesome place. Unfortunately, everything there is like rotting, and it's either living or rotting. I can't find any dry, dead standing wood that isn't spongy. So I can't find wood because it's an ancient woodland with lots of willow and stuff, and the soil condition is clay, and basically everything in there is kind of like almost bog resistant. So it's really mossy in there, and there's pretty much no dry wood. It's so hard to find dry wood in there. So I decided, like, since I might wild camp next weekend, I needed to get some stock of decent wood to bring in there. Again, same position. I don't want to be sawing lots of stuff off in there, and whoever does have to go in there and manage that place every couple of years or something for them to see that. They might be keeping an eye out for me. So yeah, I'm probably going to get the Lixada stick stove going. Got a little bit of a breakfast to cook up this morning. I'm going to start off now actually, because yeah, what did I bring? I brought a few drinks, not all of them alcoholic, but this guy's been sitting in my pantry for a really long time. So banana bread beer, Wells Brewing Company or whatever, and anyhow, I'll leave the other stuff for later. Got another drink as well. Gonna get the stuff set up. Pop into that right now. Okay, so here's the stuff. Got one half side of the Polish Palatka Lavvu tent, so I'm going to be putting up one poncho, making a small wind shelter. When I went out this morning, I went out early to go check out some birches where I had some, I thought there was some chaga growing there and stuff. I also went to get a little bit of firewood. It was just super windy when I got out here this morning. It's not actually that cold, to be honest. I mean, I'm not wearing gloves or anything. I don't know what the temperature is. It might be like 9 degrees Celsius. Not really sure. I don't even know if there's any rain scheduled. I say scheduled, I like to emphasize on that point. Some of you who may be a bit on the ball and in the know might know what I mean by that. Oh, look. Meow. Psst, 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 psst. Hey man, do you live here? Lucky you. So I couldn't check I didn't really bother checking the weather, but it was really windy when I came out. It's not so windy now, but just in case it kicks off a bit while I'm trying to film and cook stuff. So throw that guy up over here, maybe tie a little cordage going across to this elder over here, top just to sit on, I don't know. Cooking gear, so I got 2 drinks. I got an ale, I got a beer that's banana bread, looks pretty awesome. Got something hidden behind there, it's a little bit of a secret. I'm going to show you later. Chill, it's not alcohol. Food stuff bag. I really apologize to you guys, to all of you out there who want to see me having like a nicely handmade pouch for everything that's made out of leather and all that stuff. Sorry, don't have that stuff. Here's my Tinder pouch. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There he is. Yeah. No one sent me a free tinder pouch yet. Bastards. This is the small British Army bag liner. So you're supposed to like put that inside. If you have the proper British Army rucksack or Bergen, whatever they call it. I think this one's for the side pockets. The side pocket, I don't think it's that big, but it's just a bag you can put inside as a liner. You put your stuff in there, and obviously if it's coming down heavy with rain, then whatever you got in there should be dry. So I got a couple of these. I normally put my tent in there, and today I've just got my waterproofs in there, and it's just basically just gonna be my seat. Yeah. Alright, let's get started. Oh wow, I can really smell the banana in that. Extremely. I normally have a hard time being able to get the aromas from glass bottles. Wow, that's like I'm drinking banana bread. That's awesome. I'm gonna buy this much more often. Went down pretty well. Yeah, it's a beer taste. It's not so dry, not so bitter. Pretty nice. 5.2 is 500ml. Can't remember how much I paid for it. Oh cool, fair trade bananas. Okay, long ago ale was known as liquid bread. We've used a long history of creating the finest malt blends and added fair trade bananas to awaken the senses with a seriously fruity, rich, yet surprisingly versatile banana bread beer. Nice. I'm gonna have this a lot more. So that's way too awesome to burn. The other side's alright. So I'm gonna get the lappy out. It's a Laplander saw. Take a few slices off of this. So I'm making some ornaments at home, and I just love that. So don't waste things like this, because you don't get these things all the time. There we have it. So I got an idea for these. We'll see if I actually pull through with it, and if I do, maybe I'll just stick it on the blog or make a small video about it. So Wilderness IPA 6.5% by Allendale Brew Company. I've not had anything from them yet. This will be my first one. So Wilderness. Well, I'm not really in the wilderness right now. I kind of am, but urban wilderness. So let's get cracking. There is aroma coming out of there. I just can't figure out what it is. It's nice and solid. Let's see how that goes. Can't say what the taste is, but it's nice. That goes, I don't know what the hell that was. That goes down pretty well. Try this one out. Looks like I'll need to find out what else these guys make and try some more out. So if you want to start your fire off basically making a smokeless fire, one of the things you have to do, it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but you kind of have to try and get rid of the bark if you can. It's not that hard. I mean, it really depends on various factors, like how old is the wood, what type of wood. So this is hawthorn, and it's actually coming off pretty well, but it doesn't mean that when you find a piece of dry hawthorn that it's going to work well. It'll depend on how long has it been there for, how close to the ground has it been touching the ground, various things like that. I'm using the Lixada larger. I don't know if there's a model number for it, but I'm using the Lixada hinged stainless steel. Let me show you quick. That's this one. It's reasonably good sized. A lot of people fear buying this because it's very, very thin stainless steel. I mean, I don't know if it is stainless steel, but it looks like it when you buy it. That's what it looks like now, after having at least 10, 15 fires, I don't know. But it's held up. It it was almost like 12 to 14 pounds plus delivery, and it has worked for me. So budget bushcraft, this is the ultimate stick stove for you. It's not that small at all, but don't confuse it with the pocket stove. So Melixata make the exact same thing, except they don't include this, and it's the exact same thing except it's like that big, and it's a little pocket stove, which is great for making a cup of coffee and possibly cooking a small, really small breakfast on, if you're good enough with a little frying pan, you know. You got that extra 12 pounds, just try it out. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but honestly, like, this is a brand which I want them to be like the one Chinese brand that you can kind of trust. So if you ever had the question of, I started making a spoon and I forgot it in my bag when I finished my wild camp, and I discovered it 2 weeks later, can I continue carving that spoon? The answer, as far as I'm concerned, as of right now, is yes. So this is the first ever spoon I've attempted to make. I think I've even not used the right wood. I think this is actually hawthorn, and I'm not sure, but I think someone told me that hawthorn is one of the trees that you shouldn't be using the wood for carving something you're going to be eating from. So this will just be something I can just make as an ornament. But using the Mora, I forgot the model number of this. I think it's a 612 or something like that, 622, 621, whatever. This is the spoon carving knife. You can, even though it's like not really green wood anymore, it's been in my bag, so it might still be a little bit damp, but it's working. So we'll see the end result of this at some point when I get time to try and finish it. Yeah, it's looking pretty funky so far. And that's the Mora. It's a pretty awesome knife. I got this on a really good deal on eBay. I don't know if the person I bought it from was stealing it from the back of a truck or something, but I got this for like 15 pounds, and it was like 3 pounds delivery, so I spent 18 pounds, but everyone else is selling them for like 23 pounds. So that was an awesome price. Awesome, we have proper sun exposure right now. It's been a good week or so since we've had like sunlight like this. So what I'm going to quickly do, my tent and stuff is quite safe, honestly. No one's going to come in here now. What I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to grab the GoPro. I haven't lit the fire yet because I'm trying to find my bloody steel rod. Alright, so I'm at the highest I can normally get. I can get a bit higher than this. Let's try it out. Right foot, go! Nice. Who needs drones when you got trees, right? it's really hard to estimate how high I am. It feels like 15 meters, but when you go down there and you look up, it's like 10 meters, so it's really hard to say. Cyclist. Very quick observation, it's 8th of January 2019, and the dead nettle, I mean, it's really been mild. It's I think today's something like 9-10 degrees Celsius. Dead nettle seems to be absolutely fine. I know dead nettle is usable. I might chop a bit now, take it home. I don't know how much you need quantity wise to be able to use it, because I don't know what you can use it for. But if you can use it in tea, then as much as you want. If it's a specific recipe, obviously you do require certain amounts. So if it can be used in a soup such as nettle soup, you probably need a bit more than just this patch over here. So get your stick stove fully packed, let it burn like this, and you've got hardly any smoke coming out. I'm gonna make like some foraged mushroom with egg omelets and chow that with a bit of toast. So just whilst I'm busy dehydrating and cooking the juice ears, wood ears fungus that I got off the elder back there, just going to show you this. So this is my drink to accompany my my food today. It's a it says peanut soup, but it's like a peanut drink. I think it's from Thailand or Taiwan. It's one of those two. Okay, made in Taiwan. So obviously I've drank my 2 ales already. Breakfast on the way. I like going to these Oriental supermarkets you get. Like this is quite a large one. Lun Fung. I think they have a few large superstores around London, probably even the UK. And they just stock Asian foods from all around Asia, not just, China. I mean, it is a Chinese brand, it is a Chinese company, but they stock loads of different things. So this is the first thing I'm going to show you. I don't even know what it's called. I can't read that. It's from Taiwan, and it's probably just a peanut drink, but they call it peanut soup. It's quite common in that part of the world to refer to drinks as soup, especially if it's made from something which would be considered a food. So I'll be getting into this during or after the meal. And it's just something different to see, different to try out. I use I go to these shops maybe a couple times a year, try out these weird products that they sell. They have loads of good things made from like sesame seed and aloe vera. I had a drink the other day made from pennywort, which is like a weed basically, and they actually named it pennywort. They didn't even give it an Asian name. So it just goes to show you that in certain parts of the world they have very similar plants and species as we do. Alright, so just remove the mushrooms. There's a bit of moisture still in there. I'll just let that cook off with the lid off, and then I'll get the eggs going on. Alright, so breakfast is ready. I'm going to take it off the fire now because I kind of want a little bit of a wet scrambled eggs, because I have some bread to throw onto the grill over there and I don't have any butter, so I don't want that to be too dry. Oh man, so I've been digging into the sandwich already. Got another piece of bread busy toasting up there on the last final embers. There's the rest of the scrambled eggs with the foraged mushroom from the elder tree. There's my peanut soup drink from Taiwan. When they said peanut soup, I was like, ah, that's just what they're calling it, but it's a drink. And there's floating peanuts in there, and they're soft, so I think they might have been cooked. It's like a watery, but don't get me wrong when I say watery. It's just not milky, but it tastes pretty damn awesome. So head off to your local Chinese Oriental supermarket, but the big ones. I don't think the smaller ones on the high streets and shopping centers will have this. Maybe they will. This is from Taiwan. It's a pretty damn awesome drink. I'm glad I picked it up. So I agree with it being called a soup because there's so many peanuts in there, you have to munch them. This stuff, this is awesome. So scrambled egg with the mushroom, like I said before. A few of my spices thrown in there, my typical spices that I bring along to most of my wild camps. But then this is a homemade bread that I made yesterday in a bread maker. It's an Italian herb bread. And subsequently, I didn't really plan that, but I also brought a Italian hard cheese which I grated into the mix here a couple of minutes ago, just before I served it. And just the saltiness of that plus the bread, and then complemented with the sweetness of the peanut. It's just wow. I didn't plan all this, just fell together. Try find that in your local large Oriental supermarket. So here in London there's a shop called Lung Fung. That's where I went to get this. But there's another one called Heyyyy, and I've got a feeling, and I've been there years ago, I think it's near Brent Cross.
And that's how quick and easy it is to follow the leave no trace method, where you make your fire, dig a bit of a hole before you make the fire, keep the soil aside, push the soil back in as it came, obviously after you put the fire out, and then just get a few sticks and twigs and leaves back over the spot. Within a few days should look normal. I mean, the leaf matter is a bit disturbed there compared to further back, but a fox could have done that, a bird could have done that, so that's how it should look when you leave your campsite. There's today's setup. I've already packed the stove away. I just realized that with the battery going dead with the other camera, I didn't get a chance to show the poncho tent. I have shown it in a previous video. I think it was my show me your steak challenge. But what I've done today is I've leaned the pole a bit further back so that the tent comes a little bit, it's not that it's coming more forward, but it's just that I don't have the pole in the center there vertically like that. So I have a bit more space to work. So if it did suddenly come out with rain, heavy wind or something, and I wanted to get in there, I have more space to work around here. So I put the tarp in that little section there. I threw all my things on there, my cooking stuff, my utensils, my food and everything. The bag stayed on that side with other supplies in it. That's my my stuff bag, my British Army rucksack stuff bag. What I did is I've got my waterproofs in there, and I just used that as a cushion to sit on while I was cooking, while I was filming and everything. So my last wild camp that I had was my 4th solo wild camp, and I had obviously slept in the tent, the whole tent. So this is one side of the tent. I've buttoned off the other side just as semi-shelter for today. And it rained really hard. That was 2 weeks ago, and I woke, basically I think it was like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. The rain just started coming down. It came down until like about 9 o'clock, and the tent held out really well. The canvas, although it absorbs water, it doesn't let water drip onto you, so it mostly beats off the side, and then you can feel a little bit of absorption into the tent, but it's not enough to actually cause a problem within the tent. And then don't forget there are those products out there that you can purchase from, I've seen it at I think it's the Bushcraft store. I think it's them who sell it, but there's others who sell it as well, I'm pretty sure. It's a detergent that you throw in your washing machine. So you'd wash this tent, you throw detergent into there, as well as a conditioner at the end, and that kind of like gives it a bit of a waterproofing material, or you know, attribute really. So I need to play around with this design, because I'm pretty sure that in the Polish military, if 2 soldiers do not come together and build one tent, I'm pretty sure that there is a design that you can create using the 3 poles and the 5 pegs or 4 pegs or whatever to be able to make a single man shelter. So I'll do that soon. I think I've kind of run out of time today. It's 12:20, so I better get on to going home, getting ready for the week ahead. It's not really a week, it's a Wednesday tomorrow. I'm off for 2 days. So there's the rubbish pile. I'm leaving that to the end because I will pass by a public bin on the way back home. So get the tent packed up, throw it in the bag, a couple bits of wood, stuff like that, the bag full of food, the other camera which died, tarp and stuff, and then the rubbish will be going on top, and everything goes with me. And that's that for today's little mission. It's been sunny all day, really awesome. So the weather came out for us on this one. It's been quite gloomy over the last 2 weeks. There's been like 1 or 2 days with a little bit of sunshine, and the rest of the day was just grey. So this is quite nice. Get out into the wilderness, people, if you can. I mean, I know that there are some of us who unfortunately are bound to wheelchairs and have disabilities which, you know, are out of our control. I really feel sorry for you guys. I'm hoping that videos like ours can at least help you enjoy, even if it's from a chair inside your house watching a YouTube video or something. And I hope that in the future we can all push for, you know, some woodlands around the country to kind of be, through volunteers and stuff, to be made a little bit more accessible, so people like you can get out there. You might not be able to get out to places like this where even I have a bit of difficulty moving around, but you might be able to get out into places where you could experience a bit of wild camping, bushcrafting, with having a little bit of wheelchair access, things like that. I mean, it's not impossible. We can do it. It's just about pushing to get people to allow us to do it, you know. I'd like to see things like that happen. When you think about it, you know, imagine if you lost your eyesight and how you'd get around in public, or if you became deaf. I mean, there are people out there who are deaf and blind. I mean, what are their lives like, you know? So what you have, don't just sit at home playing a TV game or watching television or something, or just sitting there doing nothing. Get out and experience your life, because some of us don't have that privilege. We just, you know, just get out and enjoy it.